Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, so in today's day and age, when we are dealing with things that are quite stressful in our lives, um, I am not making fun of it in any way, but in order to cope, I create. So when I'm stressed out, this is how I cope with things. Those of you who are in a similar situation as I am, a lot of us are at home. Me more by choice than those of us who are forced to stay at home because of COVID-19. I thought I'd make a little, I don't want to say a keepsake, but when you're stressed out and you feel like you have no control over something, making something that'll help you deal with that situation can in the future sort of make you realize, oh, that's how I was feeling at the time. And sometimes that's a way to process things that you can do it a little bit easier the next time around, if a certain situation arises. So in this case, I wanted to create sort of like a scrapbook or memory kind of thing, but in a different format using playing cards. Because, we're all dealt a few cards in life and you don't always like what you've been dealt. So in this case, I thought I'd make something useful out of them. Playing cards, most of us have on hand. We'll have an old deck lying around or whatever. So I thought I'd use something that most of us would have on hand. And, scrap pieces of paper. You can take your old bills, flyers, whatever, newspaper. I have some music sheet that I bought a long time ago from a secondhand store, so I figured I'd use that. But anyway, so you're gonna need that. You're gonna need a glue stick, some masking tape, and then some word stickers, letters, whatever you want to use. You could use some die cuts. You can do whatever you like, or you could just journal on these if that's what you choose. So the idea is to create a box and then 19 cards because it's COVID-19, or you could do as many cards as you like, however long you've been quarantining yourself, or those who have been affected. This is a good way to sort of remind yourself of how you felt and how you dealt with these kinds of situations. I'm hoping that these kinds of situations don't crop up very, you know, often, but you never know. It's the card you're dealt, right? Pardon the pun. Pun is definitely intended here, but, pardon it anyway. So the idea is to create a box first. Now, you can decorate these ahead of time, or you can decorate them after the fact. You could do the numbers on the outside. My cards on the other side actually look quite cute. So I might leave the card on the inside kind of thing. You know what I mean? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them. I was going to do washi tape, but I don't think it'll be strong enough. Not for this kind of thing. And you want to leave a little bit of space between the cards, because then you can fold them up when you create your box. So this is just an open-ended box, so you can just store your cards in it. Now obviously you don't have to do this with just whatever's going on right now. You can do whatever you like. You can make it, fun for the kids, your grandkids, whatever. Whoever's watching this, if you need an idea for a certain kind of thing, this is a good way to do it. So that's basically what it looks like on the other side. Now bear with me because this is just something I dreamt up, so I really don't know what I'm doing. See what I mean? But I like the idea of having it sort of open, so when you put your cards in like this, you can see your cards nicely. Okay? See what I mean? And you can trim this if you find that is a bit too open for you. You can obviously trim it if you want to. And I might end up doing that because then I can have it all one size without it being too, whatever. You can do that. So all I'm going to do is close it up, basically, create my box. All you need to do, and again, I did not think this through all the way, so I'm going to fold some of that in, and then you're going to just basically tape it. I'm going to do a bunch of pieces, so I have those on hand. and I don't have to struggle with it too much, hopefully. So it's all we're doing is we're going to close it up. Again, you can leave as much gap as you like, or as little as you want. If you don't have playing cards, you can obviously use cardboard. You know, take a box, cereal box, and then cut to whatever size you like. As long as you have enough, you should be okay to create whatever you like. So that's basically it. So you have a box. Now I can trim this. I can do a fancy sort of curve on it if I want to, but this is where my cards would go. So I could potentially go down this way, but you know. And then I'm just going to reinforce my outside because it's still sticky from the tape. I'm going to make sure I reinforce that. Now, I'm obviously doing this as a stress release kind of thing, you know, just sort of dealing with certain things. And, yeah, not every one of us can cope with every situation. And this is not something you have to do just because you're going through tough times. But this would make a cute little photo box if you wanted to do like a vacation thing, or, I don't know, use your imagination. Can't come up with all the ideas, people. You gotta do some of it on your own. But the beauty of it is that it's small. It's not really, you know, technically a scrapbook. So you could do quotes. You could do, I don't know, poetry, if that is your thing. You could just create the box just to store photos, you know, those Instax, is that what it is? Instax photos, you know, for the cameras and stuff like that. So in here, you know, you can start decorating it. The idea is to just sort of have fun with it. You can stamp, you can do whatever you feel like. But I just tend to want to just be creative with it, have fun. It doesn't have to be a spectacular piece of art, you know. You can get all your scrap papers out, you can do whatever you like. That's kind of the fun part of this. And you can make it as fancy or as plain. You can even paint it if you wanted to, if you wanted it plain. You could use all your scrapbook papers, you know, a coordinating set kind of thing. If you find the glue is not sticking, you can use like a heavier glue. But I think for this, it's fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And if you have really old paper, I like the brown of it. This is the music sheet that I got, but it is so old that, you know, it rips easily. It's it does not hold its, like you can see it's been sticking to things, so it's, you know, you can do whatever you like. So you can decorate that and do whatever. So you get the idea. So having said all that, this is what I did with my other cards. So I have, ta-da, all of these. Not necessarily to put into this box because I have more cards that I want to do one kind of set with. So that is what I'm going to do with this. But I just wanted to show you how I would create the box. And then you can trim it if you want to. You could do a little, you could take your hole punch and then make a little divot. Here, maybe I can do that. Let me see. I do have my one. Because it is a little tall. And once you trim it, it's okay. So you could just trim it this way. And because I can't cut a straight line, I'm not going to worry about it. And then you just take your hole punch or your circle punch and just, without it going everywhere. But then you can put your cards in there, right? So you can stick them all in there. And then once you decorate them, you know, you have that little divot, you can easily pick them out and things like that. Now, these are the ones I have created earlier because I was kind of, you know, in a funk and I wanted to do something fun just for myself. So I've just created a bunch of different ones. So I've used some washi tape, music paper, some scrapbook paper, and some of them, stamps. You can do whatever you like. You know, this is perfect for scraps. And then I use the Tim Holtz word sticker. You can do your own. You can use your label maker to make a little word sticker for, you know, whatever you like. So the idea is to have them in there. Now, some of mine are a little bit over the edge, which is okay. That's fine. Because once you stick them in there, it'll be okay. So this one's with a feather, and then, you know, I'm waiting for spring to show up. I mean, we had a bunch of snow on the weekend, which was not very nice to wake up to, but now it's all better. So yeah, I just created a bunch of different kinds. I did a bunch in sets, and then you can just sort of divide them up. And I wanted to use them as journaling cards. I basically created them to have my own ephemera and things like that. So I like the idea of just sort of having them in a box like this, you know, for a scrapbook kind of thing. But you can see how many you can fit in there, right? And just tuck them all in there. Not all of them will fit, but you can see how that would work. Obviously, that's way too big. But even something like this, you know, just stick them all in there. And then you have a little, for all intents and purposes, a scrapbook. But in hopefully what most people have on hand is a deck of cards or cardboard from your cereal box, whatever you choose to use. You know, let's say you're missing a few cards from the deck, and then you can make something like this out of it. So you don't have to throw it out, you can do something else with it. And I thought it was a good way to commemorate something that you want to remember later on, or, you know, just have fun with it. Kids can make these, adults can make these, anybody can make these. So they're a lot of fun to make. And you can get to use up all your scraps. You don't really have to have a whole lot of supplies on hand. So it's a perfect activity for anybody to do. And then you can decorate the box any which way you want. You can do shabby chic. You can try a bunch of different techniques if that's what you choose to do. And this is a good format to do it on. So just be aware that, you know, your box might end up getting a little full, but, you know, you can always create another one. It's not that big a deal. So yeah, I thought I'd share this with you. And let me know if you try this. Leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, subscribe if you like this, and join me for the next video next week. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.